Are you into enemies to lovers? Are you into romance books? Welcome to Enemies to Lovers Romance Book Edition, Book Rex. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Enemies to Lovers Book Recommendations Romance Book Edition. One of my favourite tropes. I was obsessed with this trope, but I think it might be getting knocked down a pedal just because childhood friends to lovers is creeping up. It's really creeping up. It's almost at the top. Goddamn. I tried to find enemies to lovers romance books that people haven't talked about that much. So here we go. First book. Hello, you there? Like the video. The first book is To Hate Adam Connor by Ella Mays, and this book is the second book in a duology, I want to say. So the first book in this series duology, it's called To Love Jason Thorne. I recommend you do reading the first one. It's still a really good book. It's childhood friends to lovers. I recommend reading that book first because the characters in that book do play a part in this book. Main character Lucy moves into her friend's house, which coincidentally lives right next to Adam Connor. Lucy finds him so attractive. She wants to get in his pants. She goes up a ladder onto the fence and spies on him and his son. So she spies on him for a bit of time, looking at how he interacts with his son, and she likes him a lot more just because he's such a good father. And then one day the son is in the pool unsupervised and he starts drowning, and Lucy, the hero, she jumps over the gate and saves his son. And you know what the first thing Adam does to show that he's so thankful for Lucy for saving his son? He throws her in jail because he thinks she's a stalker, which technically she kind of is because she is stalking him slightly. Lucy does not like him anymore. She hates his guts because he put her in jail. Adam thinks she's just a stalker, crazy woman, and Lucy does not like him because he's arrogant. He threw her in jail. So they're trying so hard not to like each other. But throughout the book you can really see Lucy really loves the relationship Adam has with his son, and Adam really loves how Lucy interacts with his son. Okay, the tension in this book was absolutely crazy. Or the manuscript scene where, you know, they're saying lines. I love that scene so much. It's so tension. This whole book is filled with tension. It's such an amazing enemies to lovers. I highly recommend. I gave this book 5 stars, and I highly recommend the first book too in the series or duology. So good. The next book is Trick Me Twice by Becca Steele, and this is an enemies to lovers high school bully romance. Let me tell you, the bullying was high. The interesting thing about this book is that it's in dual perspective, so we get the perspective of the boy and the girl, which we love it. We love seeing tension on both sides. Rain and Carter are the two main characters. Rain, she's kind of a loner. She's just trying to make it through her last year of school. So she has her head down. She's just focusing on studying. She lives next door to Carter, who is a football player. He's the king of this high school. He is a player on the field, but also outside the field. He's arrogant. He's dominant. He's possessive. He is the exact definition of a toxic guy, but he's a bit insecure because his parents keep on telling him to be more like Rain, so he probably has this underlining resentment towards Rain. Throughout the book he starts to feel something for Rain. He doesn't know how to explain it, so he proceeds to bully her to the max degree, and Rain keeps on doing things that upset Carter. It just really shows Carter really going at Rain, telling her to go fuck herself. Rain just having to put up with it. You can see the development of their relationship. This book is a standalone too, so there's no more books in the series, but there is more books in this universe, which is the next book I will talk about. But this book is really good because it has a bit of suspense and danger, so it's not just revolving around romance. It has a little bit of plot, which is really good in a romance book. The next book is The Lies We Tell by Becca Steele, and this is a enemies to lovers college bully romance. So you can see we're going to high school, college, next working place, and next retirement home. Becca Steele does it all. I think this book is a 5-book series or maybe 6. This book has 4 boys. They are the 4, like literally the 4. These 4 boys rule Alstone College. They are beyond rich. Their families own a town. Winter is the main character and she has no one left. Her mom has died. Her dad died a year prior from a gas leak, which she does not believe at all. She does not think he died from a gas leak. She thinks that he died because of someone actually killed him. Before her dad died, he was in Alstone a lot, so then Winter decides to transfer to Alstone College just to get to the bottom of what actually happened to her dad. She decides to go to a party one day, and the 4 boys are there, and on first sight they hate her. They hate her, and we don't know why. She doesn't know why. No one in the party knows why. The person who hates her the most is a leader of the 4, and his name is Caden. I really like the name Caden. You know, it gives a ring to it. It really gives like bully person. I don't think this is a spoiler because I was reading reviews and it was in a review and it wasn't a spoiler review. So Winter finds out that out of the 4 boys, 2 of them are her stepbrothers. Incest is back. Can you guess who's her stepbrother? Yep, it's the fucking love interest. You'll see the development, especially in the other books in the series. You'll see how this plays out. So I really recommend reading the other books in the series too, because they're all enemies to lovers. Becca Steele does something really great with her books, that she puts in romance but also plot. So in this book too, we have romance of Winter and Caden, but we also have the intrigue, the suspense of the deaths of her mother and father. It's a nice balance. So we have the hating, absolutely despising relationship of Caden and Winter, but we also have mystery of who killed her parents. Easton is one of the 4 boys and he is so nice. And he helps Winter so much. And their relationship is so lovely, but the relationship with Winter and Caden is, it's unconventional. I say it's a really good book, but I give it 3 stars because of the whole stepbrother thing. I just can't. The next book is Paper Girls by Erin Watt. This series is 100% a guilty pleasure series. It's addictive. It reads like a soap opera. Coronation Street who? EastEnders who? The main character, Erin Harper, her mom died of cancer recently. Since she's been 17, she's been paying the bills by herself and she's has to go through a lot of stuff to keep above water. So at the start of this book, she was working in a strip club. And then one day, this guy comes in, Callum Royal. He walks in and he's like, yeah, I'm your legal guardian. She's like, what? He's like, yeah, we're going home. And what does he have at home? He has 5 sons at home. So Ella now has a choice of all these 5 sons, and I'm going to read you a quote because it's so good. I think this is from one of the sons when she goes back to the house, and they say, you should know whatever game you're playing, you can't win, not against all of us. If you leave now, you won't be hurt. If you stay, we will break you so bad that you'll be crawling away. So from that we can tell that these 5 sons are kind, considerate, lovely people. She goes back to the house and instantly the leader of the boys, Reed, hates Ella and he wants her gone from the house. He does everything to Ella to make her leave the house, but Ella, because of her upbringing, because she had to do so much things by herself, she is strong. She tries to match their game with her own game. There is drama, angst, betrayal, revenge in this book. It is such a good series. The ending of the first book was mind-boggling, I have to tell you. I was flabbergasted. Everyone who reads this book loves the ending of the book. It's such a good ending. I think it's a 5-book series or 6-book series. I'd recommend reading all of them. The next book we have is finally, I have a physical book of it. It is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armaz, and this is such a good enemies to lovers, fake dating, all of the above trope. So the main character, Catalina, she's in the office one day. You know, she's a working woman. Her sister is getting married in Spain. And the main character, Catalina, told her parents that she had an American boyfriend, but she doesn't, she lied. And she proceeds to say this on the phone at her workplace. And Aaron Blackford hears this conversation. And is he intrigued? Yes. He basically offers himself as her date. Their relationship is not good. They do not like each other. It's like a good workplace enemies to lovers. So Catalina really goes through the ringer of seeing if she actually does want to bring Aaron to the wedding, because she really doesn't, because she really hates him. And then she decides, yes, you're coming to the wedding. My parents think I have a boyfriend, so we need to fake it. They go over to the wedding pretending that they're in love. And lo and behold, they start falling in love. Really hyped book, and it's worth the hype. It's really good. The next book is very much like The Spanish Love Deception, and it is the On Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. This is such a light-hearted book, a cheesy book. I give it 5 stars. Loved it. The main character, Olive, her sister was getting married, so she's the best woman. Is that what you say? The best woman? The best man? The best woman? It's the wedding day. She's at the wedding having a great time. And her arch nemesis, Ryan. Is it Ryan? Nope. And her arch nemesis, Ethan, he's the best man. They have to spend the day together to go over what their speech is going to be. Everyone at the wedding then gets food poisoning, but the only people who did not eat the food was Ethan and Olive, the 2 arch nemesis. Her sister then tells Olive to go on the honeymoon because she can't, because obviously food poisoning. He's projectile vomiting everywhere. Her sister's like, yeah, take Ethan because he's the other person who's not sick. And Olive does not want to go. She's like, nope, I am not going on this honeymoon. Oh, obviously then they go on the honeymoon, and they had every intent to ignore each other, to not be in the same vicinity of each other, to do everything on this honeymoon besides talk to each other. But then they got into a little bit of an issue. Olive bumped into her future boss and told him that she was on her honeymoon. Olive and Ethan now have to pretend that they are newly married and that they are very much in love. And yes, it's a really good book. I've really loved it. The next book is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie Maguire. This book is definitely an oldie book. I haven't seen it around recently because I think it was maybe released 2013. Well, the back says good girl, bad boy, imminent disaster, or the start of something beautiful. I would have to say not the start of something beautiful because it was the most toxic relationship I've ever read about. But it's enemies to lovers, so if you like that, give this book a try. The main character, Abby, is the definition of a good girl. She doesn't drink, she doesn't go out. She has a dark past. She has a little bit of a secret, a dark secret. So she goes to college, but then she's shortly challenged by the college's just walking one-night stand. His name is Travis. Perfect name for a toxic boy. Of course, Abby is severely attracted to this because he's the opposite of her. Travis too, he does underground fighting, he's into casinos. I actually don't know if this is enemies to lovers, but it's still gonna be in this. Travis is kind of intrigued by Abby of how innocent she is, so he makes a bet with her. If he loses the bet, he will remain celibate for a month. But if Abby loses the bet, she has to live in Travis's apartment for a month too. So actually this book should be in forced proximity. Damn it. Anyways, it's fine. As the book goes on, you can just see the obsessiveness of the relationship, the intenseness of the relationship, because Travis is probably the walking, talking of a toxic male. It's not good. I like this book, but I didn't like this book. The next book is Talk Bookish to Me by Kate Bromley. The main character, Cara, she's a best-selling novelist, a romance novelist, and she goes to her friend's wedding. And lo and behold, who's the best man? Her first love, Ryan. And she does not like him anymore. Evidently from how she describes him. So at the wedding, he starts to get under her skin. Before this, Clara, I would say she had like a writer slump. She has a book coming out soon, but she was not able to write anymore because she had no inspiration. But once she met with Ryan again, the inspiration struck. Because of the inspiration striking due to Ryan, she basically forces herself to be around him so she can get inspiration for her new historical romance book. And it goes from there. I think I gave this book 2.5 stars because something happened that really made me dislike the book, made me dislike a character, which dropped like 2 stars for me, honestly. Those were all the enemies to lovers recommendations. I have a lot more, so I'll definitely do a part 2 sometime. But yes, hope you enjoyed and peace out.